Story 2: Death in the Theatre. I muttered to myself as my beeper went off. My double shift was almost over, and I was on my 6th cup of coffee at the all-night coffee shop, trying to stay awake. The beep meant someone had been killed, and I was needed. On St. Patrick's Day, with the rest of the detectives celebrating, it was up to me, Maria Honduras, to take the call. Nancy Zinkham, a celebrity comic from Galloway and my childhood friend, had been murdered in her dressing room. The case wasn't just professional, it was personal. I reached the small theatre and met Tom, the uniformed officer. He told me Nancy had spent the day alone in her dressing room, preparing for her charity stand-up routine. No one was supposed to bother her, but she never made it to the opening act. A stagehand found her dead. "Who was back there in the dressing rooms today?" I asked. "No one is really sure," he replied. Before inspecting the dressing rooms, I spoke with Dan Gallagher, the theatre manager. He said there were 3 dressing rooms and lots of people were in and out all day. Then I noticed the video camera above the door. "Does it work?" I asked. He nodded, and I tasked Dan and Tom to check the footage for any visitors. In the second dressing room, I found a plate of bagels. Nancy was a health nut, which made the presence of bagels odd. I entered Nancy's dressing room and was confronted with the crime scene. Her body, a yoga mat, empty water bottles, and half-eaten salad. Something was off. One water bottle on the table was almost full, which didn't line up with Nancy's habit of hydration. She'd have consumed more water if she'd been alive until the late afternoon, as the coroner suggested. The video showed 4 people entering the dressing area: Kevin Doyle, the theatre owner, 2 actresses, Joanne Driscoll and Helen Smith, and Sarah Jones, the cleaning lady. All had carried something large at some point. They were all suspects now. I interviewed the actresses first. They were nervous and mentioned rehearsing and bringing bagels for Nancy. "Did you see her eat any of the bagels?" I probed. They exchanged a glance. "No, we left before that," Joanne confessed. Next was Kevin Doyle. He seemed calm, almost too calm. "I check on everything," he stated, "but I didn't speak to Nancy. No reason to harm her." His alibi was too clean, his tone too rehearsed. Sarah Jones was last. She detailed her cleaning routine, which she claimed never involved disturbing Nancy. But her cart outside Nancy's room had a bottle of water on it, identical to the one inside. "Did you go into Nancy's room to clean today?" I asked sharply. She hesitated, then shook her head, which didn't feel right. After everyone left, I sat alone in the theatre, replaying the interviews. Joanne and Helen's nervousness about the bagels, Kevin's over-rehearsed alibi, Sarah's hesitation and the water bottle, it clicked. The water bottle on Sarah's cart was a match to the one in Nancy's room. She must have entered to clean, contradicting her statement. I rushed to check the bagels from the second room. They were from a bakery that Kevin owned, as I recalled from a fundraiser event. Why would the actresses bring bagels from his bakery, unless they didn't? Unless Kevin planted them to implicate the actresses, to divert suspicion from himself. But why? Then I remembered Nancy's plans to move her charity event to a new venue next year, a decision that would financially hurt Kevin, motive and opportunity. With the newfound evidence, I confronted Kevin Doyle again. Under pressure, he admitted to entering Nancy's room under the guise of checking on the cleaning, to argue with Nancy about her decision. The argument had escalated, and in a moment of rage, he used the knife he'd brought with the bagels to silence her for good. The case was solved, not by the missing pieces, but by seeing the whole picture.